Yo, time to shout these sponsors. Jolly Mac Coffee is the official sponsor of all our podcasts here at Hashmark Sports. At Jolly Mac, they ship the bags of coffee, beans, or grounds the same day as roasted for perfect flavor. Coffee capsules are roasted the day before to allow for outgassing of beans after the roast. K-Cups are available, and remember, drink Jolly Mac Coffee because you believe so, not because I said so. Please visit hashmarksports.com and click the Jolly Mac banner and use the promo code HASHMARK to get 10% off. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the UFC show. I think every week I've added an extra E to that show. Anyways, what's up, everybody? How do you feel about what I think was a great UFC pay-per-view from top to bottom? I'm sure there's going to be a lot of haters that are going to say, you know, oh, the main card wasn't that great. This was a good pay-per-view from start to finish. Prelims to main card, good card. Just as good. I mean, everybody was down on the Strickland versus Hermanson card, and it was good. I think you just have to watch, even though there's no names yet. That's how you discover new fighters. You gotta watch the prelims. You've gotta watch all that stuff. You gotta watch the fight nights. That's how you see up and coming fighters. I mean, because they're gonna be the ones that are up in the rankings pretty soon. You've got to do it. But you know, before I get into any UFC stuff, I gotta give a shout out to the state of Iowa. We got our high school state wrestling tournament going on. And I mean, I gotta speak on it. It's one of the greatest tournaments in all of, America. Iowa produces some of the top talent in the nation in college wrestling. I mean, there's other states, New Jersey, California, Illinois. Can't forget Illinois, because everybody from Illinois is like, oh, what about Illinois? Illinois' got a good state tournament too. Iowa's known for wrestling, okay? Wrestling has always been my first love in any sport. It's always been the sport that I've loved the most. When I fought MMA, it was my base. I was a wrestler. I don't need these headsets on. I don't know why I'm using them anymore, but I was doing my sound checks beforehand. So hopefully everything sounds good tonight compared to last week. But, yeah, it was my first love. I mean, my first sport I ever fell in love with. And you gotta know about the commitment that it takes to be a wrestler. You've got to be in the room working hard. You've got to be conditioned. You've got to learn moves. You've got to learn how to, you've got to learn how to wrestle. You got to be a good fighter. You got to know how to wrestle or defend a takedown. I mean, and defending a takedown is still considered wrestling, in my opinion, because you have to know how to stop it. I mean, that's just like in any in wrestling, you got to learn how to defend a takedown against someone else. I mean, granted, you should be trying to get your own takedowns, but whatever. But big shout out to the state of Iowa, all the competitors out there wrestling. Be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Saturday being the placing rounds, and then the championship finals at night. I've had the opportunity to coach a champion. I wasn't out there for his match, and he's probably forgot more about wrestling than I could have ever taught him. But hopefully, I taught him something. Maybe not wrestling wise, but something. Just how to carry himself. I don't know, but great kid. Yeah, I didn't really. I mean, I was on But a lot of them are doing double legs, single legs, half Nelsons, cradles, all that stuff. They're doing the simple things, but they've done them so much that make them look easy, and they're so fast, or they're so strong, or they're a little bit of both. But before we go on to the main card and are done with our shout out to the state of Iowa and its wrestling tournament, we got to get into the hydration tonight. For lack of better judgment, I'm gonna be chugging this Bang Purple Haze. No way are we sponsored by Bang. I just like Bangs, and I had it in the fridge, and I was thirsty, and I don't have to work tomorrow, so why not take one of these straight to the dome, right? Alrighty. Straight to the dome, hydration time. All right, sweet. The Purple Haze is actually pretty good. Reminds me of like a grape sweet tart. All right, let's go ahead and break down UFC 271. We're going to start from the prelims because early prelims. I watched the early prelims. I was so excited about this card. I'll kind of tell you what I bet and what really happened. I didn't tell you guys what I bet on prelims. Prelims is just what I like to do with prelims, and it's pretty fun to do. Because, it's not, I don't bet big on them. I find a fighter that I like, do a little research, like, right before they fight. Go, hey, okay, so the first one was William Knight versus Max Grisham, and this is the first fight of the night, probably because William Knight missed weight by 12 pounds. And you're saying, well, how could he be, how could he be 12 pounds over? Well, he took this fight on short notice, so there was kind of there's no way he's going to make that weight. So he fought Max Grisham to a 3-round decision. I bet on William Knight. I was like, oh, hey, this is going to be at a higher weight. Maybe he'll have some, extra, just, something on his fist. Maybe he'll knock out Maxim Grisham. That wasn't the case. I bet $5 on this fight just to bet. So what I do with the prelims is I'll bet like anywhere from $5 to $10. I'll take that $5 to $10, whatever I win, and then I'll whatever I won, so the $5 plus say $4.55 that I won. So the $9.55 that I just won, I'll roll it into the next fight. And that's how I kind of just do it to have fun. If I get a high enough amount, I kind of stop, and then I just kind of start all over, like at $10. If I get up to if I win like a $50, $60 bet, I keep that, and then I roll it into. Then I go $10 to the next fight. I just kind of just build a little bit of a bankroll that way. But I didn't start off so hot with this one. William Knight and Maxim Grisham. Yeah, Maxim Grisham. Yeah, kind of just he won a unanimous decision over William Knight. William Knight. He just needs a little bit more time. I think he's going to be a good fighter. But the next one was Jeremiah Wells versus Blood Diamond, which truthfully, this one was a good back and forth fight. Kind of in the beginning, Jeremiah Wells did push him up against the cage, put him against the cage. Blood Diamond had some good takedown defense, but he ended up getting submitted. It was, I believe, a rear naked choke. He fought hands really well off of that rear naked choke. It might have been, I want to say it was rear naked choke. I remember, I watched this Saturday, so I can't remember exactly all the finishes, but I know that he got submitted. And it was just one of those where he's Blood Diamond's not ready yet. But he give him some time, he'll be a good fighter. I bet Blood Diamond to win this fight. And in the beginning of this fight, he did this weird thing where he kind of like ran to the side and then just like slipped and fell. It was the weirdest fucking thing I've ever seen. It was like there was a glitch in the simulation, the whole simulation we're living in, But yeah, Blood Diamond did slip. But anyways, I think he's gonna get better. He's a teammate of Izzy's. He'll get there. Douglas Silva de Andrade. That's how you said it. Versus Sergey Murazov. Okay, this fight I bet on Andrade. He's from Brazil. And the dude's just tough. I could tell he was tough. He won by submission in the second round, but he just kind of he caught a flurry of punches against Murazov, knocked him down, and then just got on him on his back and just worked into the rear naked choke and submit him. So I won some money on that, probably broke even with the two fights I just had. So I rolled it into AJ Dobson, who I was like, AJ Dobson, great up and coming fighter. He's going to be, someone that they're looking to, do well against. But Malkoun brought the wrestling, Malkoun ended up winning that fight. And then the last match on the early prelims was Ronnie Lawrence versus Mana Martinez. Ronnie Lawrence put on a wrestling clinic out there. He should have tried to finish him on the feet, though, truthfully, because he had Mana on the cage. He had him rocked several times, but then he would go down and wrestle him, and then Mana would just catch his wind, and he wouldn't be rocked anymore. But after the fight, he said something about how he was dehydrated or something, and he had diarrhea, I believe is what he said, and I don't know. It's it is what it is. So that finished up the prelims, or the early prelims. We go on to the regular prelims. Kind of bet with my heart on the Fabio Charrant versus Carlos Olberg fight. I really wanted Fabio Charrant to win. I follow this guy on TikTok, and I hang out there and talk to him, and he has probably doesn't have a ton of people that come into his TikTok yet. I mean he's a pretty cool guy. He plays a lot of video games, so I just kind of go in there and chill and say hi to him once in a while and ask him stuff. Doesn't like to talk about his fights coming up, which is odd, I think, but maybe it's just one of those mindset things where he doesn't really want to be thinking about it all the time, maybe having some nervous butterflies, I don't know, but I think Fabio Charrant, I think he's a fighter that's capable of doing big things in the UFC, and just maybe he did fight a tough Carlos Olberg, who I think is he's got a build that is good for light heavyweight. I think he's got some skills that he just needs to work on, Olberg, and then I think he'll be up in the rankings here pretty soon. I know I talked about Kylie Phillips in my main card breakdown. I talked about Kylie Phillips. I said, if you're going to bet this fight, bet it to be by finish. So I bet this fight. I already had it bet KO, TKO, DQ submission. And Kylie Phillips won this by decision. Or not by decision, by submission. He won it by submission. This dude's an animal. He's ready to move up in competition. He's ready. He had that loss to Paiva, but That should have been at worst a draw from what I hear. I have not watched that fight yet. I need to watch that fight though. He looked far above Rojo, competition wise. Like, I feel like he was just a better fighter altogether. So on the prelims, I didn't do amazing, obviously, but I'm being honest with you. I'm being transparent with you guys. And the thing you have to think about is it's two people that are getting in a cage. Understand, anything can happen. Like, anybody can get knocked out. Anybody could get hit just right, and then someone jumps on their back and throws in a rear naked choke. Or someone could be, just laying some badass ground and pound, and then, someone catches in an arm bar. Things happen. I mean, fights should always be 50-50. Okay? Obviously, there are fighters out there that are, far superior, but like, you've got to notice that there are two people in there, so anything can happen. Anything. Look at GSP versus Matt Serra, the first fight. Boom, Serra caught him, stumbled him, rocked him, took an opportunity, beat him, came champion of the world, welterweight champion of the world. That's what happens. I mean, I try to get my predictions as close as I can according to style matchup, but guess what? It's two people still fighting in a cage. That's anything can happen. So the next fight was Roxanne Modafferi versus Casey O'Neill. This was Roxanne Modafferi's last fight. It was her retirement fight. She fought Casey O'Neill. Casey O'Neill, she easily won round 1 and 2. Round 3, maybe a toss-up. But this one ended up in a split decision, which was really weird to me. The person that gave Roxanne Modafferi gave her the victory in his decision. He didn't get to judge any more fights that night. But the crazy thing is that guy is literally a rocket scientist. I believe I read he is a rocket scientist, and they had him judging an MMA fight. But maybe he saw something that other people didn't. But I think I pretty much saw it as Casey O'Neill winning this fight. Casey O'Neill will probably be she's 15. She'll probably replace Roxanne at number 12, maybe 11 or 10. But she's got some good stand up. I just what I like her. She after the fight she was very, very Nate Diaz like, and she was like, she told the crowd to F off. She said, "You're always booing me. That's okay. I can be the fucking bad guy," or something like that. And she was just she's very Nate Diaz. Like she's the anti-hero. She says what she wants. I think people like that. I liked it. I'm a fan now. I followed her on Twitter. I've been more active on my Twitter lately than ever. I repost a lot of what do you say? Just a lot of MMA news. I ask questions. I don't have a big following yet, but hey, I'm out there doing it. So follow me on Twitter. I think I've got it right here. So yeah, follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, and then follow me on TikTok right there too as well. TikTok, I put up my bets. I post my bets for the cards every Saturday. I also post them on my Twitter. Hashmark Sports, they also retweet my picks as well. So. And then Instagram, we have Instagram. I'm not active on Instagram. I don't want to do too many social medias. Plus, I have to put a photo every time I post. No, thank you. But I'll get on there and lurk, So, yeah. Follow her on Twitter too. I can't even remember what her Twitter was, but go follow Casey O'Neill. Should be entertaining. Next, we have Andrei Arlovsky versus Jared Vanderaa. This was kind of a crazy fight because they said that every time, I mean, according to Significant Strikes, Jared Vanderaa kind of won. Yeah, he had 102 total strikes compared to Andrei Arlovsky's 71. He had 70 significant strikes compared to Andrei Arlovsky's 64. So Arlovsky had 71 total punches, but 64 of them were, significant. I mean, it was, I feel like Arlovsky did deserve the win here. He had better control of the octagon, I feel. And I feel like his punches looked like they were a little bit more, doing more damage than Vanderaa. It was a split decision. Arlovsky ended up getting it. I think it was the right call, but there's always controversy. So the early prelims I sucked at. I missed 1, 2, 3, 4 fights. I mean, the Ronnie Lawrence fight, I picked Ronnie Lawrence, but I picked him to win by finish. So I can't really say that. I mean, I picked Lawrence, but I just picked him to finish him. And then the prelims, kind of the same story. Charrant, I bet with my heart because I was like, hey, Charrant's gonna do it, but he didn't. But he'll bounce back. Even if if something happens where he's not in the UFC, and I don't know how many fights he has in his contract. I think this is his 3rd fight with the UFC. I could see him bouncing back, I picked the Kylie Phillips matchup to win by decision. Not by decision, but by finish. He did finish him, Marcel Rojo. Then, like I said, I didn't make it official, but I did pick Casey O'Neill to win by finish. I thought she would finish Roxanne, but she did not. Roxanne kept coming at her, and she just was taking shots by Casey all night. I picked Arlovsky to win money line there, and I didn't cash on that one. So, the main card where I had most of my money on, I bet Bobby Green money line here. That's where I had a lot of money there. He just handled Nasrat Haqparast. He just handled him. Then we had Alexander Hernandez versus Renato Micano. This one was added to the main card, so I didn't have it in my original picks. So Hernandez versus Micano was a very interesting fight. Micano ended up getting him in a submission in round 2. So Micano he is very slick. I did not see him getting a submission there, but next we came up to one of my picks that lost. So right now I was at 2-0. Then we had Derek Brunson versus Jared Cannonier. Oh man, it lasted 2 rounds, but this was a good fight. First round, Derek Brunson and Jared Cannonier come out. Brunson wrestled him down, got him taken down, and Derek Brunson won round 1. He did. Then he comes out and he is gassed, it looks like, in the 2nd round. Jared Cannonier knocked him out. We picked Brunson to win. I mean, I feel like if Brunson's cardio was better, he beats Cannonier. But Cannonier weathered the storm. He weathered the storm. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jared. If you ever watch this, I'm sorry. I didn't pick you. But no, you deserved that win. You weathered the storm. You got out of the wrestling. You got out of the takedowns. You got up from them. And then you stuffed the takedowns in round 2. Jared Cannonier deserves to fight Izzy next. And I've said it on Twitter twice now. If Jared Cannonier slips in one of those punches like Izzy let Robert Whitaker throw in some of those punches, Izzy might go down. Might rock him. Because Jared Cannonier, he's coming down from heavyweight. He's got lightning and thunder here. And you can't let him even hit a little pop shot at you. Because it's going to rock you. So now I'm 2-1 on the fight picks. Next was Tai Tuivasa versus Derek Lewis. I was a Derek Lewis fanboy here because I was like, Derek Lewis is nobody can go shot for shot with Derek Lewis. Tai Tuivasa proved that wrong. These guys tried to wrestle, they tried to do everything. It was crazy. Derek Lewis, there's some controversy on whether they say if he took a fall or not, or if he took just took a loss for but he didn't take a loss, or he didn't lose, or he didn't what am I trying to say? He didn't try to he didn't lose on purpose. Do I think he didn't want to be in that fight anymore? I don't know. It just kind of looked like it, but I'm not going to question his heart because I don't think he's that kind of person. I don't think he would want to do that in front of his hometown. But just, I don't know. It didn't look the way he was exchanging, and then he kind of fell. It just kind of, I don't know. I hope that's not the case. Hope we see Derek Lewis back in there. He went to number, I think he dropped in the rankings to number 5. So the rankings now are Cyril Gane, number 1 at heavyweight. Number 2 is Stipe Miocic, which I don't understand why that is. Because Stipe, his last fight or his last loss was to Ngannou. Cyril Gane has beat Lewis and then lost to Ngannou. They're jumping my boy Stipe. Stipe deserves a shot at the title again. But I think if anything, especially because Tai Tuivasa just beat Derek Lewis and Tai Tuivasa is ranked 3rd. Don't put Tai Tuivasa versus Cyril Gane. No. Make the fight Cyril Gane versus Stipe. Or, like I've heard them do, they're wanting to do, John Jones versus Stipe for the interim heavyweight championship. Tai Tuivasa does not need to be fighting Cyril Gane right now, because if Tai Tuivasa fights Cyril Gane, guess what? You're going to see Derek Lewis versus Cyril Gane too. It's going to be the same outcome. I love Tai Tuivasa. Cyril Gane is just not, I mean, he's not better than Stipe. He's not better than John Jones, but he is in that number 3 to number 5 range is where Cyril Gane is. Tai Tuivasa needs to fight Dawkis, Aspinall, Rosenstrike, Blades, somebody. That's who he needs to fight next. He's got momentum. Why do you want to wreck his momentum by facing Cyril Gane? Don't do it. Don't do it. That's all I'll say about that. Tai Tuivasa won this. Now I'm 2-2 on the night. Then came the main event, Izzy versus Whitaker. I bet this. My official pick was moneyline. I did go moneyline here, and then I also picked. There was 2 other bets that I bet single bets. I bet would the fight go the distance? I said yes, and then I also said Israel Adesanya by decision. So that's exactly what happened. Izzy just kind of, counter-striked a lot and let Bobby Knuckles get crazy. It did look like Robert Whitaker was winning the exchange, but apparently Izzy was getting shots in. They said significant strikes, 79-59. Whitaker did get some takedowns in, but he didn't really do much with them. So, I mean, you can't really say anything. Adesanya did get knocked down at the end of one of the rounds, at the very end, but it was just this was a kind of a boring fight. He took it the distance. I thought it would go the distance because they fought before. But it was. I thought it was still a good defending of the title by Izzy. What's next for him? Cannonier, and him versus Cannonier. I expect that fight to probably go 5 rounds too, unless because I don't think Cannonier will take the Robert Whitaker approach in their first fight. Whitaker was crazy. Was going after Izzy. I don't think Cannonier will do that. Cannonier will probably have a more he'll have a better approach to, he'll be poised. He'll probably try to find spots where he can throw some heavy shots at Izzy. It's going to be a good fight. When that fight will be, who knows? I think Izzy said he wanted to fight in June. I think. He said they didn't have a pay-per-view for June, so February, March. So March, April, May, June. He wants to get in there, within 4 months. Why not? I think he can do it. He's going to lap the division. I think he'll beat Cannonier. It'll be a decision. It'll be a 5-round decision. If Cannonier can go 5 rounds. All right, let's go on to our breakdown of the new fight night, which the new one is crazy. Jamal Hill versus Johnny Walker. Let's see where we got. Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill versus Walker. This is we're just gonna do the main event here. The first fight is gonna start off with this card's just kind of like, I don't know what to think of it. There's just so much like randomness to it. There's been a couple canceled fights, a couple last-minute fights put together. The main event for this fight was Rafael dos Anjos versus Fiziev. That's been moved to UFC 272. So, yeah. This fight night, it starts off with Joaquin Buckley versus Abdul Razak Al-Azan. My official pick on this one, I think Razak Hazan. I think he's going to be the better striker here. He's got more experience. I think he'll beat Buckley. This fight is going to be one of those fights that it's not going to go 3 rounds. if you're not sure who to bet on this one, I mean, it's a close line, negative 145 or minus 145 for Buckley, plus 125 for Razak, Al-Azan. I'd say, if anything, if you want to bet on this fight, I would say, will the fight go the distance? Option, say no. It might be plus, it might be minus. We don't have those line numbers yet. I didn't see them on my book. So Abdul, Razak, Al-Azan would be my pick in this one. Jim Miller versus Nicholas Mata. Jim Miller is a crafty veteran here. He's got good jiu-jitsu, good good submissions. I think, him versus Mata. I think Mata's the favorite here. He's minus 180. Miller's plus 155. This is another fight that I don't think is going to go the distance. I think Mata is gonna hit Jim Miller in his suspect chin and probably finish this fight. Probably TKO. This fight, but Jim Miller could get him in a submission. I'm gonna go with Mata. I'm gonna go money line here, just because I think it's a safe bet. I think Mata's he's one of those guys that looks like he could be a contender. Miller is that gatekeeper in the division now. So, you gotta beat Miller to kind of get into the lightweight division. He's the gatekeeper. He's gonna be that guy that UFC is gonna throw people at. The third fight is Parker Porter versus Alan Bedeaux. Parker Porter is seriously underrated. He's had two really good fights here recently. He fought Chase Sherman was his last fight. And then who was it before that? He's fought some good guys. He's had some success recently. He's fought Josh Parsons and then beat Chase Sherman, which, Chase Sherman's no longer with the UFC anymore. But, Parker Porter came in and lost to Chris Dawkis. Chris Dawkis is in the top 10 right now, or at least was, before he fought, Derek Lewis. So he came in and lost to a guy that's, within the top 10 or top 15 right now. Beat Josh Parsons by decision and beat Chase Sherman by decision. Bedeaux is just not, I don't think he's that impressive. He is 8-1. I think he's lost 2 in the last 2 fights. It's not really impressive. I think Parker Porter comes in here. I would go, if anything, I think, what's the line here? The line is minus 250 and plus 200, or minus 250 for Parker Porter and Bedeaux. I think the safe bet here is just to go Parker Porter minus 250 money line here, because the thing is, it's minus 250. It's not like it's an outrageous number like minus 300, minus 400. Minus 250, I'll still throw money at. Some of the other ones, when they get up higher, it's just like, okay, well, this is probably going to be a finish. But I would say Parker Porter, put the money line there. I think he's going to beat Bedeaux. I haven't seen much out of Bedeaux to really feel comfortable picking him. Then the co-main event for this one is Kyle Dawkis versus Jamie Pickett. I'm going to look the lines up because this does not have the lines on it for doesn't have the lines for the fight on here. So a quick look And my book here will tell me what Kyle Dawkis is versus Pickett. And it is Jamie Pickett is plus 220, and then Kyle Dawkis is minus 270. I'd still sprinkle money on Kyle Dawkis at minus 270, simply for the fact that Kyle Dawkis is going to come in here, and I think he's going to out wrestle Pickett. I think it's going to go to decision, though. Kyle Dawkis' last fight was a no contest. Dawkis has 80% of his fights he's won by submission, 20% by decision. Pickett's either knockout or go to decision, but I think Dawkis probably takes this guy down and controls him. Both have decent, they're decent at the significant strikes. Grappling wise, it's more Dawkis than anything. Pickett's not going to take him down. Dawkis' takedown defense is 85% to Pickett's 68%. Dawkis has more submission attempts and average. I think Dawkis wins this one by decision. Wrestles him down, gets some takedowns, controls him. Yeah, I think that's how this fight's going to go. So I would still pick Dawkis. Money line here. Then the main event is kind of a crazy one. It was on 8 days' notice. You got Johnny Walker versus Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill is the minus 250 favorite here, and Johnny Walker is plus 200. Johnny Walker's just got this really awkward style, but his last fight, he I guess he switched camps. He's with a different trainer. He's more conservative than he was. His last fight, I think he landed 9 punches, 11 punches, 10 punches, 9, and 8. So it was something ridiculous. He only had really odd low numbers. It was a split decision too. So I guess both from what I read and heard is they were both very. They didn't want to they were both very cautious with each other, and they didn't really want to engage much. So has Walker found that happy medium where he is, where he can, let loose that power, or, we know what Jamal Hill can do. Jamal Hill will knock dudes out. And on short notice, this fight's not going to go 5 rounds. So look for Jamal Hill to finish this fight. He's minus 250 favorite. I would go with the finish here. It's that Jamal Hill by KO, TKO, DQ, or submission is minus 162. So it's a lot better than his money line. I don't think this fight's going to go all 5 rounds. I think Jamal Hill will beat Walker. And then you could also go, the fight goes a distance, it's minus 400, so there's no real reason to bet that one. I would say probably Jamal Hill by finish, TKO, KO, DQ sub would be my pick, minus 162 there. Now, I know we're at 45 minutes, and they want me to keep it 30 or 45 minutes, but I just want to talk about a few things news-wise for the UFC. Makhachev versus Dariush. Dariush got injured, apparently ankle injury in training camp, and he will be out of the fight for the fight night. But they were quick to replace Dariush with Bobby Green. Bobby Green, fresh off of schooling of Hashmark, is going to go against Makhachev, which Makhachev is just a different beast, man. I don't see Bobby Green winning this one, but it'll make for an entertaining fight night card. I mean, he'll be in condition. You know, he's obviously cleared to fight. Might as well. I mean, if Makhachev could get knocked out, Makhachev has got knocked out in his career. Is he smart enough to take Bobby Green down? Also, Max Holloway, he apparently, whatever injury that withdrew him from the Volkanovski fight, he's been cleared from that injury, and he is going to be the backup fight in case Korean Zombie can't go. He's the backup fighter for this pay-per-view, so he's all right now. Whatever injury he was, I don't know. I don't know if they released that yet or not, but he is healthy enough to come back and be the backup. Peter Yan versus Aljamain Sterling will be the co-main event for UFC 273, which is Volk versus Korean Zombie. So we'll finally get to see Yan versus the paper champion, Aljamain Sterling, which I think we'll see Aljamain Sterling win that fight. All right. Until next time, UFC show fans, this is the Beast. I'll see you later.